one. When I come down right to the sun. Check one. When I come down, down. Check one. When I come down right to the sun. Check one. When I come down, down.
What did that make you feel?
Cried all the water on my body. Even a desert ain't gon' want me. My body shaking with apology. But ain't nobody feeling sorry for me. Not even me. And why should anybody understand? I made this whole mess with both my hands. I did all this shit myself. I created my own hell. Every fucking time I lose my mind, I'm leaving all the ones I love behind. I know I'm guilty, guilty, guilty. Don't look at me, don't look at me. I'm filthy, filthy, filthy. Can somebody kill me? Does anyone hear me? Can someone tell me who the fuck am I? I can't even look me in the eyes. I used to emulate the sun. Look at me now, what have I done? Why? All this blood on my head.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Neutral News Network. I'm Brian alongside Zach. Jake is currently fighting off demons in the pits of hell, and he will not be joining us today. But he is doing all right, and we are here to give you another episode. And this one is going to be about the extremely well functioning and organized federal government. As it is currently, as the Chiron says in the bottom left, it is not found. It is not operational. Or it kind of is, but only for air quotes essential things only. But yeah, so it is. It is another wonderful news cycle when it comes to this government shutdown. I believe what Zachary, we're 8 days into it now. I believe so. Yeah. So we are officially in its second week. And I believe the longest government shutdown is 34 days, if I recall. And that was during the first Trump administration, I believe, from 2018 to 2019. And this one, before we get into the ground news articles that we discussed before that, I just want to get your 5-second take. Longer or shorter than that 34-day government shutdown.
Here, let me unmute myself. I want to say shorter for the sake of the country, but at this point, it feels like Democrats have nothing to lose. So
I agree with
I'm
that
gonna go
assessment.
longer.
I'm also gonna go with longer unless somebody cracks. And then when I say somebody cracks, the reason that the shutdown ended at 34 days the last time was because um, all of the air traffic controllers started just piecing out and taking vacation, and nobody was there to run the airports anymore. Which, as some might notice very quickly, that's a problem. um, so we've already seen some of that happen. I believe Burbank, California, has been without air traffic controllers now for a couple days, and they've been relying on other individuals to fill in and fill those positions. And that's a very stressful, demanding job. Um, so obviously, not getting paid and doing that type of work is not going to fly very well. No pun intended. Actually, I just realized I made that pun
That was a good
completely
one.
by accident. It was. um, but yeah, so that's obviously something that's going to cause a ripple throughout the United States, and anybody who's trying to fly, whether they're coming in internationally or flying domestically. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, and I think that's really the only way that we're going to not eclipse that 34-day threshold is if something like that comes crashing down and they have to step in and come to some form of agreement. But like you said, Zachary, it doesn't seem like the Democrats have much to lose. So it'll be interesting to see who caves first, who blinks.
Yeah.
But alrighty, so let's get into the ground news articles. The first one that we have today is on the subject that we're talking about, believe it or not. Senate again rejects funding bill as government shutdown enters second week. The Senate on Wednesday again rejected dueling Republican and Democratic funding proposals to end the government shutdown. So right now, basically, even as we speak, the Senate is in session, and throughout the day today, they have voted on various funding proposals. Both have been shut down on pretty much party lines. A couple of Democrats have gone over to the Republican side as they want the shutdown to end. I believe John Fetterman's one of them, and I think there's one other that I can't remember off the top of my head. But they need 60 to end this government shutdown, and we'll probably get into why they need 60 as the episode goes on. All right, next, IRS furloughs nearly half of its workforce due to government shutdown. So I believe that number was approximately 30 plus thousand IRS workers. Now, it's not a huge deal at the moment because it's not tax season, but I could imagine that if this was like in March and April, that would be a bit of a problem. Um, but that is definitely something to keep in mind is that obviously these people are being furloughed and they're not getting paid, nor are they working. So these individuals are not going to work every day, like the air traffic controllers who are technically expected to go to work every single day. And last but not least, Carney raised Keystone XL pipeline revival in meeting with Trump, according to reports. So the Prime Minister of Canada was down here talking to President Trump today, and it's needless to say, there's not a whole lot of love lost between these two leaders, between Canada and the United States right now. And they've been, as you can see in the photo, candidly getting along, but I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, if they had the opportunity to strangle one another, they would. Um, so the relations between Canada and the United States are definitely strained, and Carney has kind of awoken a little bit of a populist movement within Canada, but it's a little bit of a left wing populist movement and nothing too crazy, but it's definitely kind of turning into a Canada first type scenario when it comes to duking it out with the United States, or if at least not Canada first, America last, in the sense of like we're not going to import stuff from the United States. I know a lot of individuals, like in the different provinces, have found ways to stop importing American products into Canada because of all of the tariffs and the trade wars that have been going on as of late. All right. So that does it for the ground news articles. So two out of the three articles talk about the very thing that we are discussing today. And yeah, I think one of the things that I want to discuss first, and this is going to kind of be a laissez-faire episode just because Jake's not here, so this is going to be Zachary and I, throwing stuff back at each other. What do we think about this? What do we think about that? But what do we think about the Arizona House representative who has still not been sworn in.
It's ridiculous. First of all, I believe Mike Johnson was asked about it because they've sworn in, I want to say, 2 Republicans
Correct.
since then. And he was basically like, well, we made special circumstances. And I'm sure once the shutdown's done and the Democrats end it, that swearing her in will be first on the docket. It's
Correct.
absolute horseshit. And there's only one reason they don't want to do it. And it's
What's that reason?
I believe she would be, was it the 218th signature on the old discharge petition for the Epstein files? Anyone? You
I
remember
heard
those? The
don't
Epstein
exist.
files?
I heard those don't exist.
They're not dead yet.
I mean, if you talked to Pam Bondi yesterday or the day before yesterday, I think it was yesterday. She doesn't think those things exist at all. And if they did exist, she wouldn't discuss any of those with any sitting U.S. senators. That's by the way in reference to her senatorial hearing where she was kind of slammed by a lot of Democratic lawmakers on everything kind of going on within inside the Department of Justice. From Tom Homan taking a $50,000 bribe in cash in quite literally a paper bag, and also her dealings with the Epstein files and being kind of hush hush on that. And somebody made it very clear is that she never once said anything to perjure herself, which is very apparent. A lot of times she was asked direct yes no questions, and instead of answering the questions, she looked directly back at the senators and had personal jabs prepared. She actually had handwritten notes prepared for each senator to make predetermined jabs back at them, which I thought was crazy. Um, but there, I believe Senator Whitehouse was one that asked her directly, like, have you seen the pictures that supposedly firsthand witnesses have said that were shown to Donald Trump or that depicted Donald Trump with topless young women? And she basically attacked him personally. And then afterwards, he asked the same question again, and she just remained completely silent. And she didn't say no once. And that's the thing is that realistically, she could have just looked him dead in the eyes and said, "No, no," just short, concise explanation, or just no. But she didn't. She never once denied it, ever. It was just personal attack, personal attack, personal attack. So she never actually answered the question. And that was for multiple senators. Multiple senators tried to get her to answer those questions directly, and she refused to do so. So, but anyways,
Yeah, I want to.
yeah,
Was it?
nothing to see here.
I don't remember. Was it? It might have been Booker, but it also might not have been. One of them like just went through and was like, "Here, we're just going to go down the list of every question you have refused to answer during this."
Oh, Adam Schiff.
Yes, I couldn't remember if it was
Adam
him or
Schiff, yeah.
Booker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's sitting there like attacking him during the time that he's
Mhm.
running down this list. If I was a senator though, I would just say, you can stop talking unless you're going to answer one of these questions. And unless you're going to answer one of these questions, I'm going to speak over you until you stop talking. Like again, I am shocked that the senators have the patience that they do. Um because those people are brought in there as witnesses and they are expected to answer questions. And the fact that she just wasn't and she was being obnoxious and frankly childish is crazy to me.
But
But then
look
again, I've
at
seen a lot of those hearings.
look at what happens. Nothing. They
Nothing.
go in there, act
Nothing.
like absolute clowns, and nothing happens. So why not? Why help? Well, why do the right thing that might get yourself in trouble or get someone you're serving in trouble when you can just clown around, not answer questions, and go away like it never happened?
Correct. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, some people have already said that she's already got air quotes immunity from Donald Trump. Like basically, if anything were to ever come down, he would just immediately pardon her and basically anybody in the cabinet, right? So, um, like that. The only reason I don't necessarily believe that is because again, she could have just said no. So because if she's got that blanket pardon from him and she knows she's going to get that, then she would just say no. Like no,
Right.
he's not.
Yeah. There's
No,
no
he's not.
reason to, clown around and just not answer them. unless you're like maybe afraid of the consequences. If you know there's no consequences because your buddy in the White House is going to just save you, then there's why not?
Right.
Just
Right.
no, nope,
So
it's fine.
right. So something tells me that she obviously knows a little bit more than what she's leading on to, and it's not good. uh, but yeah, so either way, we've got that obviously being held up. The 218th signature on the discharge petition being held up by the government being shut down, even though it doesn't need to be, because I believe the term that Speaker Mike Johnson, the stage in which he initiated those two Republican House members was called a pro forma session, which he can basically enact at any time, which he could very easily do for this scenario, and yet he is refusing to do so. Um, so I think that's what he could do, but I believe he is refusing to do um, until and unless that time comes. Which I don't think he does it. The only reason that I'm curious to see, like, if the Democrats' demands change, like if as the Republicans get more desperate, because I do think that the Republican messaging that this is a Democrat shutdown isn't exactly sticking for people who are outside of the Republican base. And I think the reason is, and you can correct me if you think differently, but I think the reason is that, people who don't tune into politics, right? They might check in every so often, every few months, right? And they know how the presidential election went in 2024. But maybe they've tuned out of politics until today, right? Well, they remember back in 2020, or sorry, 2024, they remember that the Republicans won the House, they won the Senate, they won the White House. Well, now they see the government shut down and they're like, hey man, what the heck happened here? I thought you guys controlled everything. Now, let me be clear. This is very true. They do control the House, they control the Senate, they control the presidency, they control the Supreme Court. But there is a way for them to pass this funding bill. And that is either with 60 votes or they get rid of the filibuster, which they've done in the past to push through the votes for nominations, like for congressional, like for basically appointed positions. So I believe they call it the nuclear option. So they've done that before, and they could do that again, but they're refusing to. So I'm wondering if at any point the Republicans will also use that option to try and force through a budget.
I would have to think that at some point they will. The longer it goes, because like you said, even just from like browsing social media, looking at different posts and stuff for or we'll call it the common person comes out to comment on government affairs. It does seem like the general sentiment is, well, Republicans control everything, so what's going on? Like, this is kind of
Right.
your guys' whole deal here. So at some point, I think the Republicans are gonna, the longer it goes, the more people they're gonna like lose. The less their message is gonna stick, the more likely
Mhm.
they are to be like, all right, we just gotta stop this. So
Right.
either they actually negotiate with Democrats, or they just get rid of the filibuster, do their thing, and call it a day. My guess is that would happen before they negotiate anything.
I think that's fair. And I'm looking at so the this is from the Hill, and let me see if I can share my screen here. So I'm sharing my screen now. If you want to throw that up.
Yeah. You are this one. Dora. It'll
All
pop up
right.
eventually. There it is.
All right. So, just reading from the top here, more than 2/3 of Americans oppose the government shutdown as it stretches into its sixth day. So this is a couple days old. A Harvard Caps Harris poll released on Monday. The poll found 70% of respondents opposed to the shutdown, while 30% said they supported it. More respondents 53% blamed Republicans for the shutdown over those who blamed Democrats at 47%. So they didn't provide a not sure option with this. So it's 53% to 47%. And it'll be interesting to see um like if this number fluctuates a lot over time or if it stays pretty similar. Um and it looks like so here the poll found that 65% of Democrats said they should accept a continuing resolution at the current spending levels, while 35% said they should hold out until they get additional funding for Obamacare. And then let's see. So people do think the Republicans are going to eventually win whatever outcome is coming from this shutdown. Oh wow, 32% approval rating in Congress. I mean, that's impressive. I think I saw something the other day that Congress has, a sub 35% approval rating. But would you like to guess how many incumbents win their seats?
I'm gonna go with like 80%.
Okay, 80%. Well, you're close. It's actually 90% of
Oof.
incumbents in 43 states. I believe that's the number. 90%, I think it's actually like 91% of incumbents in 43 states win their election in Congress. And that just goes to show you that, the voter is not always right. Because you think with the approval ratings being as low as they are, they like none of them would get reelected. But it comes down to the individual messaging of that one person. It's the whole my representative is going to do what's right for me, and
Yeah.
then they get to Congress and nobody gets what they want.
I say I genuinely also think it is a large portion of voters only turn out for the presidential elections, but
Correct.
B, have no idea how the government actually functions.
Correct.
They have
Correct.
no idea like what their senator is doing or can or cannot do. They're just like, yep, they're gonna go in there and make a difference. That's
And you want to
honestly
know what makes it
not the way our government is set up.
correct? Now, are we going to be completely honest here? Because I think we should be completely honest, Zachary. Who represents your district that you live in?
Marcy Kaptur, I believe.
Oh, that's right. And you're correct. Look at you go. She's also like 95.
She'd been there a minute because she was being opposed by I believe it was J.R. Majewski, if you remember him, who has faded into obscurity because he does nothing but lie his ass off. And he got caught, which was real fun. So
Nice.
he kind of lost himself the last cycle. So yeah, Marcy Kaptur is just hanging out in there, doing whatever it is she does.
God. I mean, it's also crazy like how how do I put this? It's crazy how competitive that district is. Like because I'm pretty sure she's in Ohio's first.
Yes, I believe so.
Oh no, she's Ohio
Is
9th
this
actually.
ninth?
Yeah, Ohio 9th. So Ohio 9th, and then Bob Latta
Mhm.
is District 5, which he's the representative for the district I am in. And he has a really nice he's a really nice website.
I think I've
I'll show you.
seen him. I think he's been to my work once or twice since I started there.
You've seen Bob Latta?
Mhm.
I'm sharing Bob Latta right now.
You are.
Look
Hi,
at this
Bob.
gentleman. Hi, Bob. Bet you he's at the Wood County Fair.
No way.
Yeah, but I mean, nice little website.
Hmm.
Yeah, you want to be an intern in DC and not get paid?
No. Oh, as a matter of fact, they do not.
So let's see. What's he got going on? And this is like something also if you're watching, go to your representative's page. go to your representatives page. Every single one of your representatives has a page like this, whether it's state, whether it's federal, whether it's probably a township trustee, maybe not, depending on how big your township is. But your representative should have a page like this for you to look at, and you can, you can contact them, you can email them, you can send them an invitation, request a meeting, do all this stuff. Not that they're necessarily guaranteed to respond back to you, but like you can see the bills that they've sponsored, co-sponsored, what they voted on, all that stuff. I mean, some are going to be more transparent than others. I mean, Bob's actually seems pretty transparent, which is a nice, refreshing thing to see. But I encourage everybody to go through and look at this. So you can see, like, he voted yes on House Resolution 719, which is honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. So you can go and see what all those individual votes were that he voted yes or no on. So, and then the latest date, which I'm guessing hasn't been updated super recently because 9/19 was the last day, which I don't know if that's when the House went on recess, was like 9/19, but obviously they've been back prior to that. So yeah, do that. Also, looks like you lost your camera, Zachary.
Oh, well, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm checking to see. I'm checking to see if it like keeled out in the
it
stream.
should be back.
Oh.
It did, yeah, but it's back now.
Okay.
I don't know what its problem was.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, Marcy Captor has a nice website that's very similar. She also voted yes on agreeing to the resolution for honoring Charlie Kirk.
Interesting. Well, so let's just put that into context, so I'm sure you can see it now. The resolution condemns the assassination of Charlie Kirk and all forms of political violence and honors the life, leadership, and legacy of Charlie Kirk. So, I mean, there's the wonderful terms of it. So yeah, these are all resources that you guys are free to go look up yourself, and we would strongly recommend it. I mean, obviously, like I said, all this stuff is publicly available for you to go in and learn about. And I know it's like watching paint dry, but believe it or not, your country does do shit in the background, and it does vote on things that impact your day-to-day lives in the background that don't end up on the news. So just remember that, like, do some research onto what your representatives are actually supporting, not on what they tell you on the television. Actions speak louder than words. So, but all right. So let's see. Functioning government. So let's do a deep dive here into all of the United States shutdowns. So let's see. All shutdowns. And we're bringing out the big guns. Good old Wikipedia. All right, so let's see if we get some cool little graphics to look at here. Yeah, perfect. So Jimmy Carter was the first government shutdown to ever occur, and that was one with a trifecta as well. Actually, that's crazy. Look at the Senate majority, the House majority, Jimmy Carter. So all Democrat, and actually a pretty wide Democrat margin on all fronts. And the shutdown lasted for 1 day, and it affected the FTC. So it was only one agency that probably was not funded by the federal government at that time. And then next we go into Reagan, who had 3 shutdowns. However, wow, some of them only lasted for 4 hours. So the big one, let's get to the big one here. So this is Bill Clinton's shutdown. 21 days, which that's not a short amount of time. And I'm wondering what it was over. So let's see, what the federal government shutdown was. So Congress over funding education, the environment, and public health in the 1996 federal budget. United States federal government shut down from November 14th through November 19th and December 16th to January 6th for 5 days and 21 days, and Republicans threatened to not raise the debt ceiling. First budget shutdown ended after Congress passed a temporary budget bill, but the government shut down again. So that's kind of like, I think what both parties have been talking about recently is kind of like passing a continuing resolution. I think what they said was like a 7-week continuing resolution to get them to the first of the year, which I'm not sure what the significance is to get them to the first of the year with that continuing resolution. But I believe that's what they've been discussing on passing, just kind of as something like a stopgap bill to get the government funded and to get people paid, and then to work out their differences, which they won't work out over that 7 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it's I think important to note that like the continuing resolution has already been passed. At least twice that I can think of. Like we've kicked the can down the road several times already,
Mhm.
just to end up in the same spot.
Right. And I think that that's the thing too, is like there were 13 continuing resolutions, I believe, during the Biden presidency. And I believe the Republicans even brought that up. It's just like, hey, we came to the table during Biden's presidency to, pass continuing resolutions to keep the government funded. Why won't you do the same for us? So they've used that as a talking point to try and, obviously pin some more of the blame on the Democrats, which is true. The Democrats definitely could pass the continuing resolution and end this right now. The Democrats have the ball technically in their court, unless the Republicans want to use the nuclear option to circumnavigate them. Because realistically, if the Democrats just got up and changed their minds, obviously they would pass whatever continuing resolution they want to pass. But they're not going to. At
No.
least I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to until maybe the week of the 20th. Personally, that's kind of my thought. At the very earliest, I think I think that until this is like, I'm trying to think of something that was like similar to it back in the day, but like you go on to like CNN Student News or you go on to AP News and you see just like the big like red chiron that says government shutdown, on its 13th day or whatever, like, and it's just like a ticking timer that's constantly up there. Like I know there's some places that have it right now, but like I'm looking at AP News and it's the third. It's like one of the third or the fourth stories. Here, let me show you a snippet of AP News real quick because it just shows that like this isn't big news yet. So obviously, what the big news is on this page is Hamas is to release all 20 living hostages this weekend, according to AP sources. Which that's important because apparently there's a peace deal that's going to be negotiated once these hostages are released. We'll see if that actually happens or if somebody, gets the hostages and says, haha, gotcha, and then levels the place.
Um,
So there's, oh, go ahead.
So while you're looking for, or like,
It's right there. That's it.
Yeah. So this is just on the White House website.
Okay.
They have just
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
their own thing.
A lot of the shit they're doing is blatant Hatch Act violations.
So stupid. So dumb.
Yeah, like,
but it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, we live in a government run by children.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I don't want my politicians to be meme lords.
And yet
Like,
here we are.
I feel like I feel like we've gone a step too far with trying to relate to the kiddos. Like, can we just not? Can you guys just run the government like adults, please?
No,
please,
clearly not.
Please, like that's all I ever wanted. But yeah, I think the federal government, and I know we've had this discussion, but it needs, like, I'm wondering if it's going to have to get to a boiling point, boil over, simmer off some of the water, and then come back to normal. Because I've had this discussion with people that is what's happening like in our government bad? Yes. Is it unprecedented in modern times? Yes. Is it unprecedented in the American history? No. Like, people have to remember that during the Civil War and after the Civil War, there were people in Congress who were quite literally being beaten to death by other congressmen or by journalists or things of that nature. Like, so we're not there yet. We're not terribly far away, I would assume, but we're not there yet. Like, it's been worse. And the thing is that we get inundated with news so quickly now, and a lot of people get their news from social media, which is um, a problem in itself, because it's great that you have that instant dissemination of news. However, that doesn't mean it's always right. So it's keeping all of that with a grain of salt, and realizing that things sound bad, things look bad, but things have technically been worse. I mean, people forget that during World War II, we rounded up all the Japanese and put them in camps because we didn't trust them. So this isn't like the United States isn't exactly paving new ground here that we haven't touched before. We've done this in the past. It's just nobody's seen it while they've been alive, or at least the vast majority of people alive have never seen the United States government do this. So that's why it's a little bit shock and awe to everybody. Now, a lot of the deployments of the National Guard, again, it's definitely, I think, a little bit different for the states to be sending other states' National Guards to other states, which it's convenient. That part of the federal government's working just fine right now during the shutdown. But they're also not getting paid. So those National Guard troops are out there on these deployments, and they are not getting paid. So they obviously will get paid once the shutdown ends.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
well,
they will.
So
But yeah.
Right, it's the furloughed workers who
Yeah.
supposedly aren't going to get paid, which I can tell you right now that's going to go over really south if that happens. Like, I think that is a surefire way for the Republicans to air quote lose this shutdown, is that they try and find a way to not pay the furloughed workers.
Yep.
Because regardless of whether or not you sign your furlough papers or not, the fact that you are forced basically to accept this furlough is going to be cause for, like, well, people are like, well, I had to. Like, you basically told me I couldn't work anyway, so why would I stick around and do nothing? So you sign the furlough papers and you go home. You're basically laid off, but your job is, like, as of right now, it's going to be back whenever the government comes back. But they're talking about, obviously, deleting some of those jobs, and I think that that's again going to bite them in the rear end if they do that, because, and I think this also plays into the fact where Democrats feel like they have the leverage. They've said that you were going to do this anyways, so what's the matter? You're going to cut these people off. You were going to fire them anyways, so what's it matter?
I mean, and just look at some of the statements Trump has made where he has thanked them for this glorious opportunity to make these cuts and stuff. Like, we can't
But
pretend
notice,
that Trump wasn't kind of hoping it went this direction to let him move forward with some of the things he wants to do a little bit easier. Like, I feel they
right.
were probably going to happen regardless. This just makes it a little bit easier.
Also, this is a side note. This isn't a sponsor, but this is an Olipop YouTube, not alcohol. So don't ban me. Didn't want them to think it was like a White Claw or something like that. um, but yeah, like, he's made it very clear that he wants to cut these positions, regardless of whether or not there's a government shutdown or not. But what I've noticed is that, again, he's talked about it. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna do it. Oh, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna announce it in 4 to 5 days," and then nothing happens. Like, is anything actually going to come of this? Like, or are we just going to pretend that this is some, revolving door that's like, he's going to keep threatening it, nothing's going to happen. He's going to keep threatening, nothing's going to happen. It's just like 9 years ago when he said he was going to come up with a healthcare plan. Still hasn't happened. Even though he said it was only a few weeks away 28,000 times. So is anything actually going to come from him threatening to eliminate these positions? And I think the Democrats, like I said, are calling his bluff on it, because they're just like, you were going to do it anyways. So we're giving you the Democrats are almost saying like, go ahead, do it. We don't have anything to lose. We already control nothing. This is all on you. If you want to get rid of the jobs, you want to furlough people, you want to get them fired, who are we to say no? You can do it all without us. So why would we stop you? You know?
Yep.
Also, I love how they all cleared out from the Senate hall. I know that we're not sharing that screen right now, but like there's literally no one in there anymore.
Yeah, they just peaced out. Later.
I was about to say, I mean, it's a little past dinner time. I wonder if the pizza tracker's going nuts. Oh, did you see that Pete Hegseth said that he intentionally like messes with that now?
No, that's not surprising. We can't have anything fun.
Yeah, Peter Ducey asked him about it, and he said, "Have you basically kept an eye on the pizza tracker and like tracking the happenings of the Pentagon?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sometimes we just like bulk order pizzas to throw it off now." I was like, "Okay, well,
feeding
I
money
mean,
to the U.S. economy, I guess. I don't know.
right." And I mean, theoretically, like, do I disagree with him doing that? No, because like if you're an adversary and you see that and it's reliable information, then
Yeah,
you can prepare accordingly. So I don't give Pete Hegseth a lot of credit, but I mean, if that was anybody else, I'd be like, okay, that's pretty smart.
yeah,
So I'll give him that. Like if it's anybody else but Pete Hegseth, I'd be like, that's a pretty smart idea. But I think Pete Hegseth's not a fun guy,
yeah.
not a
I
mushroom.
at some point want to visit conspiracy land for a little bit.
Uh,
Just because I want to know what you think about Stephen Miller's CNN interview.
oh, he goofed.
Where he just
goofed.
uh,
Homie did this. I just want the crowd to realize what Stephen Miller. He basically said,
hello, Stephen. Stephen, do we lose him? Stephen? Hello?
and then he disappeared.
Yep.
and then they came back and redid the segment again. And it's like, so what happened with that was he was talking about US Code 10 in regards to like deploying the military to different aspects of the United States, like internally. And he said that the president had plenary authority, which basically means untapped, unlimited, ungarnered authority. Which that, I mean, effectively, if you're saying that out loud, you're saying that the president is the dictator of the United States. And he froze so quick that it did almost seem like somebody screamed in his ear, like, "Don't say another word,"
Yeah,
because he said plenary authority and then went,
yep, it was
and then legit
immediate.
froze. It like legit froze. I mean, looked just like Mitch McConnell did when he crapped his pants on the Senate floor. Like, it was. I don't think it is. I don't think it's a conspiracy at all that he got. I don't know who was talking to him, but he got the hammer laid down. Like, shut up, shut up. Like that's not. You can't say that. Not yet. We're not there. We're not ready.
Yeah. Even
You know,
like
you
to think like we're not there. It's not a thing at the moment. Of really, all that does is confirm that they're talking about it.
That's the goal. That's
Yeah.
the goal.
Yep.
That's the goal. Which is why, and I've said this publicly, that I think genuinely right now, I believe that the 2026 midterms are in trouble. They're looking for any way possible to go out and stop the normal election process from occurring. And if the president of the United States has plenary authority, that will happen. Is that fear mongering? Is it fear mongering if it's true? That's the thing. Is it fear mongering if it's true? And I think that we are waltzing closer to that every single day. Now the thing is that there are and all this comes jokingly. All this comes back to the Epstein files, right? Because I don't know if you follow Eric Swalwell
I did.
of
I
California.
saw that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's tough to know like if there's any truth to it really, or if he's just kind of meme posting. But apparently, the Republicans know that once this discharge petition gets signed and the documents come out, that it's going to be like game over. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Nobody knows. But it does seem like it does seem like there are Republicans who are ready to jump ship. It's just they all have to make sure they jump at once.
Yeah, and then he say there was like 100+ that were like, if that comes out, they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like that's the thing, right? Have we gone too far? Let's just say it happens, right? Have we gone too far for the Congress, right? Let's just say because we get like you get 100 members of Congress, right? On the Republican side, that's about half of them, give or take. So then you get the Republican senators. Let's say you get half of them. That's 25, give or take. I think they have like 53, so maybe 26, right? So you've got 26 senators plus all the Democrat senators. So you've got the supermajority now. You could impeach and remove the president. And not just impeach, which Donald Trump's been impeached twice, but this one you could actually impeach and remove him because you need to have 60 votes, or it might be 66 votes, might be a true supermajority to remove the president. So that could happen. Now, has Donald Trump weaponized the Department of Defense, the Department of War, the Department, the National Guard to the point where he's gonna like just barricade himself and be like, I'm not leaving? Because then you want to talk about constitutional crisis. Because the Senate, because that's the thing is then you're going to have the Senate, you're going to have the House, all saying that he's gone. The Supreme Court, who knows what the hell they're going to rule, and then you're going to have these two titans of the branches of government going after each other, and I don't know, is it going to be the executive or is it going to be the legislative? And the judicial is not a fair judge right now and not a fair referee in the corner. You know what I mean? When it comes to that fight. So I don't know what is going to happen. And now the only thing that like gives me a little bit of pause, and I've said this to people in the past, is like, I truly don't know if it makes a big enough difference, if it makes a big enough splash. Like, again, I've said this, like, I think that there are some people and I think that it's not a small majority of people. I think that there could be people who literally see Donald Trump engaging in sexual relations with a minor and they would still support him. They could have video evidence of it, which is grotesque, but yet they would still support him. And the only reason I think that, and the only reason I say that, is because think of what just happened with Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk was murdered, he was assassinated, and it's already fallen out of the news cycle completely. I could see it blowing up for a week and 2 weeks, and then maybe the Trump administration tries to do something crazy that gets something else in the news cycle, because all this stuff has drowned out everything else. I mean, I'm scrolling down through AP News now, and there's nothing mentioning Charlie Kirk at all. It's a cute little cat though. But yeah, so nothing. So I just wonder what will be enough. What will actually move the needle? And that's that is assuming that Donald Trump is in these files, which I think that at this point it's safe to say that he's not in them in some capacity. I think it is very clear that Donald Trump in some way, shape, or form is in the Epstein files. To what extent, though, that is the question. We don't know that answer. But yeah, I mean, what's your 2 cents on that opinion?
Nope, I would agree. Like, the only reason you fight so hard to not have them released is because it could be 2 things. Either 1, you know your host, or 2, you don't know your host, but you're afraid you might be.
Right.
Or at least maybe in the case of Trump, maybe he's not. But 90% of his cabinet or something is. Like 90% of the people who are going to help him achieve what he wants to achieve, maybe they're screwed. Like,
Right.
Otherwise, there's no reason to put up this fight.
Yeah, because that's what I don't get either. Is this like, the victims of this want the data or want the files released, right? Because people have said like, oh, this is to protect the victims. This is to protect the victims. This is to protect the victims. The victims want this released. Like they want this information out there. They want these people to be held accountable. And because so I think that's a pretty like bold statement to say like this is to protect the victims. Like sure, if you want to black out their names, fine, right? If you want to black out the names of the victims, fine, whatever. But even then, like I mean,
When you
again,
get a press conference of victims together who are like, "Hey, release them. What are we doing?"
yeah, right,
You can't really use you're protecting them as an excuse anymore. Like obviously
correct.
there's
At least,
more than what was just there at that press conference a month or
right,
two ago. But like, come on.
yeah,
It's pretty clear.
exactly. You would think at least.
Well, yeah. Nothing in this country is clear anymore.
Oh, so we're gonna take the 50-50 coin toss here.
Mhm.
Does Donald Trump pardon Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yes. I think he does it maybe not until towards the end of his term, depending on how things go, but I bet he does.
Yikes. Yikes.
I think especially if like these files are never going to get released, right? Like they will never see
Right.
the light of day.
Yep.
Why not? What harm is it going to cause? The only thing you're going to have is the same speculation that you do now.
It's true.
Because like, well, where's the
But
evidence? Where's the proof? Now it's a little bit worse
right.
because she was actually like, convicted of stuff. But
Right.
yeah, at this point, I
But
don't really
again,
know how
his
many people
diehard
care.
supporters, yeah, his diehard supporters aren't going to waver on that, which is
Right.
crazy to me, but they're not. Like, I think he might lose a few of them. Like, because I know Laura Loomer has come out publicly and said, like, do not pardon her. Like, don't do this type deal. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually like comes to fruition. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it gets to the point where he's got nothing left to lose. It doesn't matter anymore. Maybe a going away gift as he's leaving office in theory at the end of his second term. He's like, here, let me just throw a quick pardon that way because at that point, what does it matter to him anyway?
right, right. I it just blows me away that we're even saying that that's a possibility. Uh, oh, okay. I do want to read this off before we get into like the closing segment of today's episode. This is a tweet from Donald Trump on his True Social page. I imagine this was just reshared by JD Vance, by the way. Quote, I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all caps, all uncaps, of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a, all caps, great, uncaps, day for the Arab and Muslim world. Israel and all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers, Donald J. Trump. Oh, yeah, you got it. So, yeah.
I want to know all of the details about what it means for Gaza and the Palestinian state. And also, I want to see Israel stick to it. Like, whatever is agreed upon, I want to see Israel actually stick to it because history suggests, nah.
Yeah, I have some like deep skepticism. Honestly, I hope Donald Trump pulls this off. I really do. And I think that he'll be viewed more favorably if he does. Let's be clear. But yeah, I don't trust the Israeli government right now farther than I can throw them. Because it does seem like this this could lead to something happens in this hostage transfer, right? Something happens, and then Israel just bolt like you thought it was leveled before, which it is, and then they just go full like gone. You're toast. Like no man left behind. Like you thought this was a bloody war to start. You haven't seen anything yet because I'm pretty sure Donald Trump has said behind closed doors that like, hey, if this goes south, take them off the map. And the only reason I am even speculating that that is the case is because Benjamin Netanyahu has, in the past, made it very clear that he is not interested in a two-state solution at all. So this seems very two-state solution like, and I just don't see how he agreed to that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see.
Like most things these days, it'll be just wait and see what happens.
Yep, hurry up and wait. That's what we do every day. We just hurry up and wait. Brings us to the grave every day a little quicker.
That it
Well,
does.
on a lighter note, the Reds got eliminated from the playoffs, which is why we weren't here last week on Wednesday.
That's right.
So that's sad.
Yeah.
Who do you got winning it all? Who do you got winning it all?
At this point, as much as it pains me, I have to go the Dodgers, especially if they poop on the Phillies tonight or tomorrow, whenever they
Yep,
play.
Dodgers are looking dominant.
Tonight. Yeah. I think it's Dodgers and then whoever comes out of the Yankees Jays series. Because if the Jays win tonight, they move on.
And they swept the Yankees.
No, they lost yesterday. The Yankees.
Oh, that's right. They did lose yesterday. Yankees came
Toronto
back
had a
and won
6-1 lead and they blew it. That's upsetting. I hate the Yankees. But anyway, it's fine. Detroit tied their series 2-2 today.
Mhm.
So that's anyone's series. I'm hoping for Seattle since they have to go back to Seattle. But yeah, I think it ends up being Dodgers and either Toronto or Yankees again. Hoping for not. But I would have still the Dodgers beating whoever comes out of that because there's just something about them. They got too many people up and down the lineup that just
Can do the job.
Can kill you at any given time. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And they can throw Hiroki Sasaki out of the bullpen now, and he can come in and just
my dude.
shut you down.
That's my dude.
It's disgusting. Like, I feel bad for the Reds because realistically, they never had a chance. They toss up if they should have been there, but they were. So whatever. Thanks, Mets.
Hey,
but,
we found our way there somehow. Whether we got embarrassed or story, but we found our way in there somehow.
Yeah, we just oof. But I think it was a good warm up for the Dodgers. And now that's why they're just manhandling Philadelphia at this point.
I thought you were gonna say it was a good warm up for the Reds. I mean, for next year.
Yes, we're gonna get a little shot out of a cannon the start of next season, and we're going all the way.
Dude, we're gonna get off to a 2-10 start.
Oh, we went totally different directions.
No, I mean, I do. Here, let's do some. Yeah, we're gonna do some Reds theory craft. By the way, my official prediction is if Milwaukee wins tomorrow, it'll be a Milwaukee Toronto. Let's say both those teams move on. I think it'll be Milwaukee and Toronto in the World Series, which I will thoroughly enjoy because
I would be
those
okay
are two
with
teams
that.
Yeah, like if it's not Toronto, I want it to be Seattle.
Correct.
Just
I agree.
because. Yeah, I mean, my dream scenario is Milwaukee, Seattle. I feel like with Milwaukee winning, because I just feel like they're more of a scrappy team than Seattle is. I feel like Seattle is built to win better.
Mhm.
But Toronto's offense, man, is just fucking nuts.
They're gross.
Like, yeah.
Have you seen?
We saw that when they came here and played the Reds.
Yeah. Have you seen Vladdy Jr.'s stats against just the Yankees? He's
disgusting.
Like first in every category against them. It's hilarious.
Yeah. He's just like, I play ball.
Yeah,
I will
it's
destroy you. Insane is what it is. But yeah, Reds theory crafting. So next season, who do you got? We're gonna start at catcher. You think we stick with Tyler Stevenson at catcher? Yes, no. Is
Yep.
Tyler Stevenson, Jose Trevino?
I think it's Tyler Stevenson still.
I do too, but do you think they split? You think they
Yes.
split workload? Okay,
Yes. Unless we find somebody else who's
somebody else.
just the superstar. Cal Raleigh, come over, please. I don't think your
Right.
contract's up, but it's fine. We can't afford you anyway.
I don't think your contract's up, but please.
No, I think they still split time, but I think Tyler Stevenson's the starting catcher for opening day.
Gotcha. So I've got then we got Will Banfield, which we know he's not going to
Correct.
yeah. He's on the roster though. All right. So starting off with first base. Who is our first baseman? Who is
I have to think Spencer Steer.
you that is a weird way to pronounce Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's not happening.
I would love. I'm okay with that. Please.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me too. I I c- I would think that Spencer Steer is going to probably be the lock for first base. I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so second.
Matt McLean still. I don't
Okay.
think they're writing him off unless he has a first maybe month of the season.
Where he's the same way that he was.
Yeah. And then I think
Yeah.
they're out on that.
Correct. I would agree on that assessment. Shortstop's going to be Ellie. We agree with that.
They've already announced that they're not moving him to center field. So
Good. Which again, good. I think it's good. I just hope he takes some time off next year. Like I hope that he gets rest when available.
Yep.
Third base.
Key Brian Hayes. We probably
Brian Hayes.
didn't sign him for nothing.
Definitely don't.
Unless
right.
Unless he's involved in a trade in the offseason, but because then that would
I
require
think it'd be tough to.
Either Marte goes back to third with his yucky defense, or did Christian Encarnacion Strand play third base? I'm feeling a resurgence in him, and he makes an appearance. I don't know if it'll be to start the season, but I think he makes an appearance at some point.
I read that the current expectation of Christian Encarnacion Strand is he is going to be fighting for a spot in spring training. That's where he is currently. He is currently going to be fighting for a spot. That is also the same thing for Sal Stewart. They are both going to be fighting for that.
I forgot about Sal Stewart.
Yeah.
I would rather. Yeah, I would imagine that he probably gets the nod there over Strand, unless Strand comes out hitting piss missiles in the spring. But
right now, if they both start hitting piss missiles in the spring, then very nice.
All right.
Yeah, because now what I could see happening is, and this is if everything goes completely unaccording to plan, right? Let's just say Christian Encarnacion Strand has figured out how to hit major league pitching. He's our first baseman. Spencer Steer moves to left. Sal Stewart goes to second because Matt McLean doesn't know how to hit a baseball. Because pretty sure Sal's position was second or a third, even though he's technically listed as a third baseman. But I think that's where you could see the biggest shakeup. I don't know.
I don't think you put Spencer Steer left, regardless of what happens. He is a liability out there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hey man, he played 3 games and left. Come on. So I guess that does bring up the outfield. What are we doing there? Because Andujar is, if we're being honest, if we're keeping Andujar next year, he's probably going to be if he's getting full playing time, if he's getting playing time every single day, he's going to be the DH.
Here's the problem. I don't know what we're going to do in the offseason because the Reds are a cluster of what are we actually going to do? So right. Because I don't think Andujar is here next year. I think
Okay.
And whatever, some form of off season, whatever we do, he's involved in that. I think Friedel is probably still in center.
Yep.
Uh,
I think
unless we get
Friedel
a big
has that
bat.
job until he loses it.
Yeah. I think Marte is in right, again, depending on a trade that makes him fight for that spot. Because he had flashes of being like, being able to hit. But then
Being the best player on this team.
correct. Then
But
towards the end of the season, he shit the bed again.
right.
So I think he'll have to fight for a spot if we go out and make a trade to make the outfield competitive. If not, then it's probably his.
Right.
Or at least a platoon situation.
And what do we do with one William Benson?
Buddy needs a new team. Not because I don't want him here. The Reds and Terry Francona gave him the absolute shaft. And if I were him, I'd be like, get me out of here. I did not deserve this nonsense.
Correct.
Not that he ever set the world on fire, so like it's whatever, but still. Like
it's
just the way they treated it
that he gives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives life to the team, especially when he does cool shit from time to time.
Right.
But woof. I don't know.
And then Gavin Lux. What do we do with Gavin Lux and wait for this name because you're gonna love this name, Santiago Espinal.
Ugh.
What are we gonna do with those two?
Lux, I don't really have a problem with. I think he wasn't great, but I don't think he was bad.
He hit 270 with an OBP of 350, which I honestly, if your OBP is 350 or higher, I would consider you a good baseball player. Not great, not excellent, just good. Like anywhere from that 350 to 300 is okay. Anything below 300 is bad.
No, I think he's involved in a trade though.
Okay.
Either he or Espinal. Espinal, I cannot fathom being here next year. But opposite Will Benson, Terry Francona seems to love him for some reason.
Espinal, yes.
Yeah. So who the fuck knows? But I will be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised if neither of them are here next year and we use them to get, among other things, something good, please. But also, I think if either of them are hanging around, it's going to be Lux.
That's fair. And also, I have to bring this up. We only had 5 players qualify for average statistics.
Yeah.
On this team.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be Gavin Lux, Ellie De La Cruz, TJ Friedel, Spencer Steer, and Matt McClain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody else was just a hodgepodge of either hurt, what do we do, platooning, we got you at the trade deadline, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Ellie definitely did not perform to expectations this year.
No. This team next year lives and dies with Ellie De La Cruz, I think. Unless they make a big splash for like a Pete Alonso or somebody.
I agree.
Team lives and dies with Ellie. And I think it's probably Ellie's last year to show up, basically.
Correct. Which, I mean, from a Reds organization is great. You want him to suck because then you can pay him less.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Reds fan, you're like, hey, buddy, can you do a little bit better, please?
Yeah. And I desperately hope they either figure out better time management or schedule management with him or whatever.
Don't give him the choice.
But he doesn't need to play 162 games. I'm sorry.
No.
Now, yeah. Especially when you're being dog water for half the year. Take a seat. Yeah. Take a breather. You're fine.
Right. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Also, I want what shoot it.
Oh, your camera died this time.
Oh, my camera died?
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably end
It's
the
back.
stream. Ha!
It's back.
Ha!
Oh, hey, it
We could
is.
talk Reds for hours.
It's true.
So
We should just be a Reds
yeah,
podcast. What we're doing here.
if we get 50,000 likes on this, we will switch to being a Reds podcast forever.
I'll settle for 5 likes. How about that?
I'll be 1.
I'll
You'll
be
be 2.
2.
Alrighty. Well, on that note, we're gonna keep talking about the Reds, and we're gonna let you guys take care when it comes to this video. So we greatly appreciate you tuning in. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and feel free to send us any stories that you'd like to see us cover on an episode. And other than that, we greatly appreciate you tuning in and listening, and we will see you hopefully next week. Take care, everybody.
Feel how sorry I truly am. Has anybody been there? Will I find my way out? How do I forgive myself? I feel like I'm stuck in hell. I'm guilty, guilty, guilty. Don't look at me, don't look at me. I'm filthy, filthy. Can somebody kill me? Does anyone hear me?